Hayo de Gallo. Here's a story about kindness and also making a bigger difference in people's lives than you could ever imagine. So, went home this weekend, visit the parents just for a real quick trip. And, you go back to your old room, and the old man was pretty good about not throwing everything away. And so, here's this little thing. I even forgot I had it. I opened it up and found some treasures inside. And so, what this is from, just kind of this mason. The jar itself is pretty neat. It feels like a kind of a hippie thing. But what this is from is something that was given to me by one of the campers when I was a counselor a long time ago when I was a young man. I think I did it for 2 summers. I was 19 the first summer and 20 the second summer. And the first summer, both summers were great, but the first summer was 6-10 weeks, somewhere around thereabouts, where every day with the kids. So we would get brand new kids Sunday afternoon, but they would leave Saturday afternoon. So literally in a given week, you'd have less than 24 hours to yourself. There weren't a lot of the counselors who did the whole run, but I was one of the few guys that did, and it was great, but it was exhausting. And so in the middle of all that, usually I had a ton of kids in my cabin, but I had one week where it was just me and 3 other kids, and they were junior high kids. Now, I have a little bit of an education background, a religious background, so this is a Bible camp, and it's a camp I grew up going to. Really good people, just trying to point kids in the right direction, So, I mean, pretty noble cause there. And just to be involved in that a little bit is a pretty cool deal. So, had that one summer with the 3 kids, and listen, I was 19 and they were like 14, 15. So I'm literally 5 minutes older than those guys, but they were such oasis friendships that I'll never forget those kids. And so we had that week together, and well, also on top of everything else, I think it was a deal where all their parents had gone to that Bible camp, but then they'd moved away from the area, so they didn't grow up there like they did as kids, and then they sent their kids to this place where everybody knew each other except for these 3 kids that were in my cabin. So we got real tight during that week, and it was a really good time. So one of the kids comes back the next year when he's a freshman, and he got really into anime, got really into clay sculpting, and he brought a bunch of stuff to give away. And he gave me, boop boop, here's a treasure. Gave me this guy. So I don't know if it's just something that he did himself or if this is an anime character. If you know who he is, um, put him in the description. And if there's anybody here watching from Raccoon River Bible Camp in the late 90s, early 2000s, 99, 2000-ish, and the kid that made these, man, throw him my way, because I kind of wondered, because he was really making some pretty excellent stuff. And so, well, he even got a little shield here, that kind of the thing at the end broke off of it. Shield and a sword, and he just made this stuff. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, I draw, but I don't, like, I'm not doing this. And it may be a dud because you could tell it didn't form right when he hardened it or whatever, but that's a pretty cool deal. And oh, no, okay, I was wondering if one of his hair things broke off, but I don't know if it did. I don't think it did. Maybe. But anyway, pretty cool thing. And so the thing is, I just thought, I'm just working with junior high kids, but he came back the next year and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think he'd be back. I brought that blah blah blah," and it was cool. You make a bigger difference in people's life than you can imagine. And one of the things that we bonded over was this. Now, this is an original Rick Hunter, and we're oop boop boop cut off his head. This is original Rick Hunter from Robotech. Now, I I have this weird relationship with anime where I like the idea of it, anime and manga, where I like it, but I don't know what exactly to get. And so as a little kid, I discovered Robotech because we went to this flea market that basically bought stuff that stores couldn't sell. And so there was a handful of Robotech things, and I got a Rick Hunter, of course, not knowing who Rick Hunter was. But I remember, oop, boop, 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 boop. Okay, tried to be slick to get a little closer. That's okay. So, didn't know exactly who Rick Hunter was, but I saw that cool thing. He was a Starship Captain Jet guy, and listen, any kid, any 9, 10, 11-year-old, 9, 10, yeah, that you tell them there's a cartoon out there where jets turn into fighting robots with guns. Oh, on board all the way. And anyway, so this kid being into anime, we talked about all this stuff. And I think the year before, he was into anime, and we talked about that, and I said I had a Rick Hunter. He's like, "You got a Rick Hunter? What?" And I think he remembered that and was hoping I was going to be there the next year, hopefully. And he made that. So again, he did make a bunch of stuff, I think, to specifically give away to friends. But yeah, that's why Rick Hunter's with Mr. Anime Claymation Guy. So really cool thing, man. And so maybe this doesn't necessarily fall into the category of being a better artist or any of those things, but it's a good life practice where you think people get wound up about everything, and politics, all that stuff. And so one of the mottos that I kind of have is, what's the best politics you could practice? Well, think about everybody that run across your path in a given day. Was their life better for the experience? That's good politics. So hopefully that puts a little wind in your sails. And until next time, let's all get published. Boop.